It's JoJo Capone. Shout out Mikey T, the movie star, and we live right now on Report Card Radio.
JoJo Capone, it's dope to have you on the channel. I'm going to call this the Global Gangster Edition. So can you explain this phrase to me? I'm your big homie's big homie.
Meaning, in our generation, in our culture, it might be like, okay, say this. So I'm going to give you a prime example. Papoose and Saigon. And you can flip it on either side. If Saigon, my younger brother, you see what I'm saying? And Papoose is saying Saigon is his big homie. You get where I'm coming from?
I'm following you.
So it's like Saigon, my little brother. So I'm your big homie's big homie. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a ranks thing, like, like that. So that's what is considered, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it ain't no belittling nobody or acting like this person ain't that or that, but that's basically the term of that. And global gangsters, of course, is a mind frame. Suckers do what they can, gangsters do what they want, and not even so much of that. It's just that, me, myself, considerably, being known as a gangster and traveling the world. You know what I'm saying? Out of 6 continents, I'm covering, out of 7 continents, I'm covering 6. And out of 196 countries, I'm covering over 147. So I'm undisputedly a global gangster. You know what I'm saying? Because I've physically been around the world. So once again, that's why I say I always make the good out of something. You know what I'm saying? I make the good out of something. I don't utilize it as just because it's the word gangster that it got to be derogatory or negative. You know what I'm saying? No, it's just a mind frame. It's just a thought process. When you knew of gangsters, you knew gangsters putting in the work of enforcing something, and doing something like that. So that's all. I didn't care the need to change the spelling and all that. So that's why I always told people it's the correct spelling. It's not GSTA. That's the studio gangster. Man, global gangsters, the correct spelling.
So can you tell me about being born in Chicago? What was it like your early years there? Were you respected because of your family's history?
I don't really never bank on my family history as far as me is concerned, because I was always out in the street alone with myself and my crew and whoever I ran with like that. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, oh, he's from the Jackson family, so you better not mess with. No, I didn't come up like that. And then not for nothing, I'm born in Chicago, but I'm raised in New York, LA, and Miami, and Puerto Rico. Then I came back to Chicago. Then we went to Miami. We moved to Miami. Then we moved to LA. You know what I'm saying? So then New York. So you know what I'm saying? So that's why I can go places and so many people know me everywhere, because I was amongst them. You know what I'm saying? To whereas if I went to, here in Chicago and all our projects, I lived in every project community here. So, and I was always somebody, whether I was never the class clown, but the fighter or the popular kid in school. So, that's just how I was. I always had that it factor, as they would say.
So when did you first get a chance to see that you could actually get involved in the music industry?
First get involved, I knew that all you needed was your own bankroll, so I always had my own bankroll. So my little cousin, rest in peace, Cold Black, he from my neighborhood, Sircon City, and he was like, doing talent shows and everything. So he was already in the game heavy. So he was telling me like, cuz, invest in me, so I didn't really know what he meant when he was saying invest in him or whatever, but he knew that I used to go to the Freaknik and Jack the Rapper, and he knew that I knew, Puff and Nas and all these people. Like, he knew that I knew them already, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I be having to realize right now today that I'm like, damn, do people really with me for me, or is they only with me because of my plugs and connections? You see what I'm saying? Because I never thought about it like that. Like, damn, you would think people reaching out to you, just, hey, JoJo, what's up, buddy, or whatever. And in reality, they don't with you for real. You know what I'm saying? They just with you because they're a rapper and they trying to get put on in the game. And they know that, oh, Birdman and Slim is his family, so he can sign us. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I say it's business. It ain't personal. You know what I'm saying? So you got to realize that, like, these people don't really know you or like you like that. That's why I started a consulting company. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't feel no type of way. You're going to pay me to speak or talk or do any meetings or anything.
So obviously, at the beginning of the interview, you had mentioned you had started doing shows. You were actually doing shows with some high caliber artists. How did you turn that into an association and get in the attention of Diddy, who told you to start a record label?
Well, basically, my Aunt Minnie, rest in peace, Aunt Minnie and Janice, which is Puff mother, they come up together, and his father. So she's really like Puff and May's godmother. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, since a child, I always knew a Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And when my little cousin did say invest in him, I took the initiative to educate myself on what he meant and what he wanted me to do. So therefore, I knew that I had to start a label, which Diddy was like, start the label. So I had to figure out a name that I wanted to come up with for the label, which was Act Like an Entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And then my movement is Global Gangsters. And then I put a group to be the spokesperson for my movement, Global Gangsters, which is where you came from all the artists that was signed from Jeezy, Ross, Mano, Saigon, True Life. Like the umbrella was huge, you know what I'm saying? And then you got Pistol Pete, Black Rose, Chachi, Big Blast, you know what I'm saying? And those was the face of Global Gangsters, the movement, you know what I'm saying? So from that point, because my first group was Mind, Body, and Soul, which was Cold Black, C-Note, and Rello. And then I lost Rello to gun violence. Cold Black, which is my little cousin that got me to do this everything, he passed away from an asthma attack. So that left C-Note by himself. So what I did was took C-Note from my projects, which is the Ida B. Wells. C-Note and Rello was from my projects, Ida B. Wells. And I took C-Note and put him with Sircon City, with the people from my neighborhood, which was Pistol Pete, Blast, Chachi, Black Rose, and I just made him the honorary member of Global Gangsters with them. So that's how that went. And they gave him a warm embrace. They embraced him because actually Big Blast and Pistol from the Ida B. Wells too. They was born in the Ida B. Wells. So it's just, it's actually funny that they actually was born in the Ida B. Wells, but then when they moved out of the Ida B. Wells and moved to Sircon City, so in their heart and their mind, they'll let you know, like, man, we from Sircon City, but in reality, they was born in the Ida B. Wells as well. So we had a very similar, ironic, that's just how it wound up being, So from that point, I came back to Chicago because we did 2 shows in Philly and Baltimore. I had Lil Kim, Nelly, Mobb Deep, Beanie Siegel, Eve, and I know it's probably somebody else, Gilly the Kid in them group. And we did Philly and Baltimore. And me and my business partner, because like he was promoting 3 years before me. So he was like, bro, I'm telling you, let's do Philly and Baltimore. So I was saying, me being in the Midwest and him from being from Brooklyn, I'm like, well, let's do a show in Baltimore since that was one of our cities. And I said, and let's do Milwaukee or Minnesota, or St. Louis. Just trying to, what I'm saying, do. So I was like, forget it. He's like, man, bro, I'm telling you, man, I've been doing this before you let me. So we wound up doing the shows and everything. And we basically was just utilizing our relationship. Oh, and Lil Kim. And Lil Kim was on the show too. So we was just utilizing our relationships with who we knew already and who knew us. So it wasn't hard for us to do. You know what I'm saying?
Could you tell me how you linked up with Juvenile, Wacko, and Skip? You said it involved distribution. So was it the next step for your label?
Yeah, that was the next step for my label, the distribution deal. Actually, me and Juvenile had did a distribution deal with this company. And it was some brothers that had their own distribution company. I don't know if their last name was Johnson something like that. But they had a distribution company. Damn, I would have had to see. You caught me off guard with the interview. I could have had that CD. I could have found my old CD and knew exactly what was the name of the company. But they were some brothers from New York though, and they had their own distribution company. They had people like Jeffrey Osborne and stuff like that. They was distributing for people like that.
What type of experiences did you have linking up with Juvenile? He was one of the most notable artists at that point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, New Orleans a second home. My family is from there, of course. So I always knew Juvie anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I lived in New Orleans as well.